This episode of the Android Apps Weekly Show is brought to you by Galaxy Universal Remote. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joe Handy, the Android Authority app guy, and welcome back to Android Apps Weekly. This week we're going to check out a whole bunch of E3 stuff. Zynga announced a new strategy game called Dawn of Titans, and let me tell you, this game looks mighty impressive. It features some really good graphics and some decent mechanics that should equal up to a fun time. We don't have a release date yet, and here's hoping Zynga doesn't wreck it with ridiculously bad in-app purchases. Square Enix fans in particular have a lot to be excited about because the company not only announced a Final Fantasy VII remake for the PS4, but that Final Fantasy VII was coming to mobile. The iOS version is due out sometime this year, and Android will be along eventually. While we're on the topic of Square Enix, they also announced Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key for mobile. It takes place during the same stretch of story that the more recent Kingdom Hearts games do, and it has a lot of the same mechanics, even if the graphics don't look as good as the console versions. Square Enix also included an announcement for Lara Croft Go, which is an action-adventure puzzle game along the same vein as Hitman Go, but during the announcement they also alluded to some Monument Valley-style elements like a more calm experience. We don't have a release date for this one either, but it does look like a lot of fun. Emu has announced that they'll be porting the classic 2006 PC game Titan Quest to Android later this year. For those who don't know, Titan Quest is a fighting game where you play historically significant figures as you battle evil mythological creatures. It should be out sometime this year. EA has announced that they'll be releasing a build harvest game called Minions Paradise. This will likely coincide with the release of the Minions movie that's due out in theaters next month. If you've played games like Ice Age Village or Nemo's Reef, you pretty much know what's going on with this title. Along with that, EA announced a card collecting RPG called Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. As with any card collecting game, you'll be collecting cards of iconic characters, ships, etc. from all of the movies, and you'll be using them to make your deck stronger. It's slated to be released later this year. Bethesda had quite a year at E3 for mobile gaming as well. They announced that they'll be bringing a simulation game called Fallout Shelter, where you'll get to control people's lives, build various places like gyms and bars, and otherwise manage the lives of some people, Fallout style. It's out for iOS now with an Android version coming eventually. Bethesda also announced a card collecting game called The Elder Scrolls Legends that is due out sometime this year. If you've played Hearthstone before, then you pretty much know what this game is all about. It has a similar premise, but it takes place in the Elder Scrolls universe instead of the Warcraft universe. Telltale Games, makers of the popular Walking Dead series games, have announced a mini-series called The Walking Dead Michonne. This covers the story of Michonne from issue 126 through issue 139 of the comic book series, which hasn't been covered in any of the other games or the TV series. This one is coming to mobile, but also to console and PC, so you can play it wherever you want. Starbreeze Studios has announced that it will be bringing the Payday franchise to Android. For those who don't know, Payday is a moderately popular first-person shooter that was originally launched back in 2011 for PC and the PlayStation 3. They're working on developing a mobile-friendly version of it, and we have no idea when it will be out. A new Torchlight game was also announced this week called Torchlight Mobile. This is an action RPG title similar to Diablo, and the Torchlight franchise has done well on PC in the past. We don't have a release date yet, but it is coming sometime this year. Gameloft had a busy E3 as they announced a few new games, but most notably Siegefall. Siegefall is, for a lack of a better term, a Clash of Clans clone. It has some decent graphics, heroes, and a much longer campaign mode. It uses gems to upgrade stuff faster, using in-app purchases if you really want to use them. And finally, we're back to EA. They showed off their upcoming FIFA 2016 title, which we anticipate will be as popular as the 2015 and 2014 variants. It has some decent graphics and controls much like its predecessors. It will also most likely be free with in-app purchases similar to the earlier titles. Be prepared for that one this summer. For more information, you can find links to all of these stories in our master list where we round up all the videos and news from E3 this last week. Since I do make this on Thursday, there are likely some smaller announcements that I didn't get to in the video, so it's worth checking out. You can find that link in the video description below. Now let's get to some regular headlines from the last week. LastPass had a security breach this last week that prompted the company to encourage everyone to change their master passwords. We understand that it wasn't a major breach with no important information getting leaked, and that the password change is really just a precaution. A new Humble Bundle was released this last week. It features 8 games with more coming soon. If you pay the minimum $1, you will get 4 of the games, and if you beat the average, you'll get every single game available in the bundle. As usual, it's a great way to give to charity and try out some awesome new games. In an effort to promote its new family-friendly section, the Google Play Store is now offering a free app of the day. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, it's only in the family-friendly section of applications, which only affects those who use that section, but it is still a fun little promotion. We've known for a while now that Cortana is coming to Android, but we didn't know quite when. Microsoft has announced that a beta version will be showing up this July. We'll have more details when they become available. In our last headline this week, YouTube will be taking on Twitch with its YouTube gaming platform, which is set to release sometime this summer. Some folks at Ars Technica got to take a look at it early, and it seems to look pretty nice, and we'll know more when it gets released this summer. For even more headlines, app updates, and new releases, don't forget to check out this week's newsletter, which is linked in the video description below. There we'll have all the content we didn't have time for here in this video. If you want, you can sign up with your email address and get all of the stuff sent straight to your inbox every single Friday. Okay folks, let's take a look at the apps and games that made a big splash this week. Moments is a new application from Facebook that is kind of a direct response to Google Photos. Using the service, you can back up all of your photos in one place, and then you can share them to Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook Messenger. You can sync multiple photos, use the photo search feature, and even save photos that other people send you. It doesn't Google Photos, but it is a fun option for those who primarily use Instagram or Facebook. Shoot is an application by BitTorrent that allows you to share files between Android devices. Here's how it works. The device with the file will create a QR code. The other device will scan it, and then a connection will be made and the file will be downloaded. It's very easy to use and to understand once you get in there and actually use the application. It's also totally free to use, but beware of those release day bugs. Cloud Player by Double Twist is a new music player that does something quite unique. It can connect to your cloud storage accounts such as Dropbox, Google Drive, and others to play music that is stored there. This essentially turns your cloud storage into your music player in a way that very few applications have been able to accomplish. It also enjoys AirPlay and Chromecast support, a 10-band EQ, and material design. Portal is another file transfer application, but this one was developed by Pushbullets. The aim is to simplify the process of transferring files from your computer to your Android device and back again. It allows you to transfer multiple files and even entire folders at once. You can include photos, videos, documents, and more. The only caveat is you will need a device running Android 5.0 Lollipop or later in order to use the app. Earlier this week, Adobe released not one, but 4 applications to the Google Play Store. They include Photoshop Mix, Shape CC, Brush CC, and Color CC. Photoshop Mix is a light photo editing application with a slew of editing options. Shape CC takes the images of things and turns them into vector graphics. Brush CC does the same thing, but instead turns them into brushes for later use, and Color CC helps you determine what color things are in photos. They are all potentially useful tools, and they are all free to use in the Google Play Store right now. The Galaxy Universal Remote application is one of the better remote apps available on the Google Play Store. It uses the device's built-in IR blaster to control your TV, set-top box, media streamer, and even your camera if you have a supported DSLR. It features a smooth, easy-to-use interface with a bucket load of supported devices, and you can get a device supported upon request. There is also Android Wear support, so you can control all of these devices using your smartwatch as well. The only caveat is you'll need a phone with an IR blaster. We'd like to thank the developers of Galaxy Universal Remote for their support of Android Apps Weekly. Once again, I'm Joe Hindy, the Android Authority app guy. While you're here, why not subscribe to the Android Authority YouTube channel? If you're hanging out for a minute, we have a couple of awesome videos for you to watch right over there, and they're also linked in the video description below for you folks on mobile. Finally, don't forget to check out the written companion, which is in the video description below, and don't forget to sign up for that newsletter. As always, thanks for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful day.